Okay, in this problem, we have to go for consecutive terms in the expansion because obviously when you go for the binomial expansion without disturbing the terms, you simply apply the formula. We know that it's obviously going to be in the ascending powers of x. So you see, according to him, say the two consecutive powers of x are the coefficients of two consecutive powers of x are the same. So let me assume coefficient of tr plus 1 is same as coefficient of tr plus 2. So we know that coefficient of tr plus 1 is nothing but 55 cr 2 power 55 minus r into 1 by 3 whole power r, and coefficient of tr plus 2, that's 55 cr plus 1 2 power 55 minus r minus 1 into 1 by 3 whole power r plus 1. So I am getting it as 2 into 3 is equal to 55 cr plus 1 by 55 cr. So we know that this is nothing but r plus 1 here and a 55 minus r here. And so from this I am getting 6r plus 6 is equal to 55 minus r. Or I have 5r is equal to 49. Sorry, that's a 7r equal to 49 I have. So I have r is nothing but 7. Now observe that you are looking for the terms. The terms we have taken are these two. So substituting r value there, we observe that the terms are nothing but t8 and t9. So option B is the answer. Let's go to next problem. Now in this 57th problem, I have dy by dx is nothing but n into e power nx d square y by dx square. That's differentiating this one more time. I have it as n square into e power nx. So from this I have dx by dy equal to 1 by n into e power minus nx. Obviously now I am trying to calculate this one. So differentiating one more time with respect to y, I have d square x by dy square. That is the notation. It is just notation saying that I'm differentiating one more time and with respect to y. So here I have to differentiate with respect to y. I have to see this as y now. So it is 1 by n into its derivative will be minus n into e power minus nx. Now its derivative with respect to y is dx by dy. I saw it as y, I wrote the derivative, and then whatever I saw as y, its derivative I wrote. So I'm having it as minus e power minus nx into, I already have dx by dy as 1 by n into e power minus nx. So I'm having it as minus 1 by n into e power minus 2nx. Now you simply take product of these two quantities to get your answer. You can see that I am getting the answer as minus n times e power minus nx, which is nothing but option D. Let's go to next problem. So we know that in such problems where the exponential functions are involved, it is not easy to solve them using the algebraic methods. So let's try calculus method. If I go for the derivative, I see that it is a power x derivative, a power x log a plus again a power x log a. Now you can see that this is always positive, but this is negative because that is less than 1. This is always positive and this is negative. So we observe that the whole thing is negative. That means f is strictly decreasing function we observe. So if it has any roots, it can be at most one root because it is strictly decreasing. So if the function is say something like this, it won't have any root, but if the function is like that, it will have exactly one root. So I am saying at most one solution for the given equation. F of x equal to 0. At most one solution. Now I want you to observe that f of 0, it is 1, positive. And if you keep on giving higher values to x, you can see that it is going on decreasing, and as x tends to infinity, you can see that f of x will go to, this will go to 0, this will go to 0, and so it will go to -1, which is negative. Therefore, obviously, it will have exactly one solution. Let's go to next problem. This is a very simple one. Once you substitute 2x is equal to tan theta, it will become a problem from your intermediate textbook itself. Observe that if I make this substitution, then I have 2 dx is equal to secant square theta d theta I'll get. And changing the limits, I'll have the integral as integral for 0 it will be 0, and for 1 by 2 it will be pi by 4. It is log of 1 plus tan theta by the denominator 1 plus, that is 2x whole square in the denominator. So you'll get tan square theta into dx is nothing but 1 by 2 into secant square theta d theta. So you can see that I can cancel this part and this part. So I is nothing but 1 by 2 times integral 0 to pi by 4 log of 1 plus tan theta d theta. And this is the integral I was talking about. This is there in intermediate textbook. You see, if I call it as I1, it is integral 0 to pi by 4. This integral only, I am calling this integral as I1. Now I write upper limit minus theta. It is log of 1 plus tan pi by 4 minus theta d theta is nothing but integral 0 to pi by 4 log 1 plus, that is applying tan of a minus b formula, I have 1 minus tan theta by 1 plus tan theta d theta. So I observe it is integral 0 to pi by 4 log of, taking LCM, I see that it is 2 by 1 plus tan theta d theta, which is nothing but writing separate, applying log a by b as log a minus log b formula. It is integral 0 to pi by 4 log 2 minus log of 1 plus tan theta d theta I get. Now for this part, the integral is nothing but log 2 into length of the interval minus this is nothing but I1 itself. So I am getting, sending this I1 to the left hand side, 2I1 is equal to pi by 4 log 2. So I1 is nothing but pi by 8 log 2. I1 is nothing but pi by 8 log 2. So substituting this I1 value back here, you can see that I is nothing but pi by 16 log 2. Okay, let's go to next problem. Now in this problem, we see that we have this parabola y square equal to 4x. And we have this line. Okay, y minus 2x is equal to minus 4. So say I have this line like this. I want you to observe that this talks about the points inside the parabola, because that is like s1 s less than 0, s11 less than 0, whatever you say. So it is inside the parabola, and for this I observe that if I write it as 2x minus y minus 4 equal to 0, if I substitute the origin, I observe that I am getting negative. You see, the way he has given, it is y minus 2x plus 4 greater than or equal to 0, you have to consider. That's what he gave here. You have to consider this half plane. So if I substitute the origin, I observe that it is satisfying this. Now for this line, this is the side, this is the half plane we need to consider. So this area you have to find now. They should satisfy lying inside the parabola. So inside the parabola means this side, okay, and also for the line this side. So obviously it is the shaded region you have to find, its area. Now we observe that this is not a function, but if we see in terms of y, it will be a function. So I am going for in terms of y. Now let us first solve this for the values of y. Let the point of intersections, let's solve for y coordinates of points of intersection. So I have y square equal to 4x. I am solving this curve and this one. I have y square is equal to 2 into 2x is nothing but y plus 4. So I have y square minus 2y minus 8 equal to 0 from this. So I observe that this is nothing but y minus 4 into y plus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore, I see that this point of intersection y coordinate is 4 here, and here the y coordinate is minus 2. Now for the area, it is nothing but integral minus 2 to 4 upper curve in terms of y. That is upper curve here, it's a line there. So in terms of y, if I write from here, I observe that x is nothing but y plus 4 by 2 minus, and from the second one, that's parabola, it's y square by 4 dy. Now simply evaluate this integral, you will have your area. Okay, let's go to next problem.